So you can see we've got only 3 crews, but from the Czech Republic, Spain, and from Croatia here.
Yeah, there were originally 3 Spanish pairs entered, but 2 of them haven't been able to start here. So we take a look at the pair from the Czech Republic, furthest away from you, Radka Novotníková, formerly from University of Southern California, a Trojan, as they call themselves, Paulina Flamikova. There's Anya Sid in the bow seat, such an experienced oarswoman, rowing with Esther Briz Zamoreno and the Jurkovic twins. Ivana in the stroke seat, she is closest to us, and Josipa in the stroke seat, closest to us, and Ivana in the bow seat. So, I guess, looking at the sort of palmares of these crew, the Croatians finished 6th in the World Championships last year. The Czechs finished 7th. And this new Spanish pair, well, Anya Sid rowed in the World Championship with a different partner, finished 10th. So they're kind of pretty much well matched in pace.
Yeah, we think it should be quite a matched race. They had an exhibition race, which the Spanish pair won. But as you say, yeah, the Croatian pair and the Czech pair quite closely matched. They raced each other at under 23 as well, back in 2021, where the Croatian pair took the gold medal just ahead of the Czech pair on that occasion. But no, it's very close between them. The Czechs came through yesterday in that exhibition race. But let's see how it goes. This is the one for medals. I'm assuming we'll have a gold and a silver, but no bronze in this one.
Yeah, that's generally what happens in these races. The last crew, the third place crew, don't get a bronze medal. Good incentive, nice start from the Spanish there. I just thought they squeezed really well on that first stroke, got good connection and moved off sweetly.
Yeah, the timing was just right, wasn't it? So just loading the blade up through that first stroke and then powering it through to the back end, through to the finish. So we get a nice picture here. Those twins, the Jurkovic sisters, moving very well together. You can see the stroke rates. We should be able to get you good graphics on the screen, giving you good information here.
Must be great rowing with someone as experienced as Anya Sid. You know, she's Olympic finalist in the pair, in the middle of the Spanish rowing team now that's going so well with those boats that took, the men's boats that took silver medals in the double sculls and the coxless pairs. You know, Spanish rowing is really on a high. There's Sid on the right of your picture, and Esther Briz Zamora, good under 23 in junior single sculler, Esther Briz Zamora.
Yeah, as you say, it's good to have that sorcerer and the apprentice going on, something you experienced, Martin, not just here in the commentary box with me, but often in the rowing team, bringing the experience that someone like an Anya Sid can bring, or someone like you brought to the British rowing team, I always thought.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. It's not going according to form at the moment. I would have expected the Croatians on their home lake, the Yaran Lake, to be a little bit closer up at this stage. I think what they're trying to do really is work on their boat skills, improve their technical skills. They see that as a big challenge so they can get more speed. It hasn't worked for them in the first quarter of this race, though.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? That technical skills bit, because we've got some information the athletes are able to fill out, which we get to see. So they've said, yeah, they've been working technically on trying to make some changes to the way they're rowing to try and find some extra speed. Hopefully for them it'll come out in efficiency and we might see them later in the race.
See, Briz Zamora just opens her hand around the back turn, just that gets that bit of looseness around the back turn. Her fingers just sort of release the grip, nice and loose in the hands, I think, as she comes round. Back turn, that's the stroke woman of the Spanish pair on the left of that boat, leading boat.
Yeah, and that Spanish leading boat, like you say, moving along pretty smoothly. It doesn't look like there's the effort going in that I'm sure there is. It's interesting just comparing it to the Czech boat, where almost just looks a little bit more up in the shoulders, that it's like they're working a little bit harder. I wonder if the Czech boat will be able to keep this going. They're both at 37 strokes a minute, but I can't help thinking these Jurkovic sisters will need their efficiency if they're going to come back, and I wonder if the Czechs will come back to them if they may have gone too hard too early.
Yeah, Well, you know, the Jurkovic twins did win the World Cup when it was last here a couple of years ago in Zagreb. Didn't expect to see them that far down at the moment. The Spanish, they kind of stopped moving on the Czechs. I have the Czechs move back a little bit on the Spanish as we come through to the 900-metre gone mark.
Yeah, well, we're coming up halfway through the race. Like I say, I mean, would probably be expecting the Spanish to be clear and then the Czechs and the Croatians to be close. So for me, the big question is whether the Croatians will be able to make an impact in the third 500, whether the Czechs will have gone a bit too early. I think the Spanish, well, on the times, it's a slight opening of the gap in that second 500, but it's a big way back. We didn't even see the Croatian sisters there through that halfway mark. The gap is big. It's 9-10 seconds now.
You just wonder whether it's something to do with illness. I mean, Damien Martin, he was in the B final today, the Olympic silver medalist from Rio in men's single sculls, and he kind of pretty much stopped rowing in the semi-final yesterday. And the Jurkovic twins out of the race. Something's wrong with them, so it's now attention turned to the Spanish and the Czechs. So what does it feel like sitting down on a crew? You're only half a length down, like in that position, as the Czechs are against the Spanish.
Yeah, well, I think they're stroke for stroke still, 37 strokes a minute. You can see focus in the boat, in this Czech boat, just moving still pretty smoothly together. I mean, I'm harsh if I say they look tense. They don't really look tense. They look pretty good there, and they're holding that half length and deciding whether and when they're going to be able to make a move, or whether the Spanish will just be able to inch away. Not much has happened in this third 500, really, in terms of the distance between these two. It's just the Jurkovic sisters we're seeing now who are struggling.
Yeah, there's the Jurkovic sisters. You can see the graphic at the bottom right of the screen. They're 50-odd metres behind the race. And, well, this event is going to be so interesting with the retirement of Prendergast and Gowler, Prendergast and Williams, is it? The New Zealand pair. Who's going to come in to this event and dominate? Spanish looking to be one. Here come the Czechs. Was that just me getting the angles wrong, or are they creeping back on the Spanish, Greg?
No, I think the Czech pair's made a move somewhere around that 1250 up to 1500. It had stuck at half a length, but it's a nice move now, and now it's looking a bit tense. You see the gritted teeth in the Spanish boat. Will they be able to keep that relaxation that they've had before? The Czechs are up to 39 strokes a minute. The Spanish still at 37. So will the Czechs be able to carry on through and actually get the bow in front?
They look more loose,
making
the
this
Czechs,
move,
don't they now? They look kind of more loose, but they've got to do something. Breeze Zamora looked like she was really suffering, the 23-year-old Spaniard in the stroke seat. The younger women, Breeze Zamora and Paulina Flamikova, both of them in the stroke seat. Ooh. Flamikova, 24.
Yeah, and I've just noticed the Spanish are actually crossing the buoy line as well. If you have a look, they're right over on the wrong side of the lane. The umpire might actually even be called into action here because the Spanish stroke blade is right on the buoy line. That's going to throw them out a bit.
Yeah, look at the speed graphic on the bottom right of your screen. That tells us that the Spaniards are the fastest moving boat on the course, Greg.
But their problem's their direction. They might be the fastest boat on the course, Martin, but look, they're veering back into their lane now. So even though they're faster, they're rowing further, which is why they haven't moved away from the Czechs. They've made that steering correction now.
Well, their coach, Javier González Neto, will be watching with his heart in his mouth as they come through to the final few hundred metres. We can see them out to our left. And so far, the Czechs have not made that decisive jump to get their bows in front, Greg.
Well, both crews 39 strokes a minute now. But again, Anya Sid there in the bow seat. I'm wondering what she's having to think here. She's giving it everything she can, but she doesn't want to let the boat get onto those stroke side buoys again. I think they're going to be OK here coming down to the line.
So it's Spain come through to take the first gold medal of the 2023 World Rowing Cup season, ahead of the crew from the Czech Republic. Breeze Zamora absolutely out of it. She has stroked that boat really well. You could see the pain on her face, and well, they didn't really even celebrate. She just was back in the boat.
Well, they're in a bit of pain, and you said celebrate a little bit as they went over the line. They had a bumpy old race, particularly in that last 500, hitting the buoy line there. They even hit the very last one on the course. So they'll know they can go better, and I think a great result, really, a great race from this Czech pair. And yeah, just a bit of disappointment really for the Djokovic sisters here on this lake in front of their home fans.
And is it right to say that Croatia are looking to qualify their first women's boat for the
Olympic Games?
Yeah, is that right? I think I've got that.
I think we're pretty right on that. I'm sure someone will help us if we're not, but I believe it's that Croatia have never qualified a women's boat for the Olympic Games. It's a fantastic lake, a sports centre really in Zagreb, and all around the course there's pictures of fantastic Croatian champions in many sports, including that men's 8 that got the bronze medal back in Sydney 2000, obviously the Sinkovic brothers, but much celebrated. But yeah, it'd be great to get more women from Croatia at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, and if you missed our introduction, Marin Cilic, the Wimbledon champion back in 2014, is here today watching. He was the best man of Valent Sinkovic at Valent's wedding. Valent coming down with his brother, Martin. And Filip Hrgovic, the boxer, bronze medal in Rio 2016, is also here watching. So, grandstand filling up.
Yeah, I'm sure the grandstand will fill up towards the afternoon as we get closer to seeing the Sinkovic brothers coming down in that double scull. But you see good celebrations there in that Czech pair. I thought it's a good race for them to start their season with.
Yeah, 7:16, the winning time. Just to give you a heads up, that is around about, what is it, 30 odd seconds or so slower than the world's best time. Very still conditions here on the lake.
The finish line, the pain goes on for a long time.
She can't do a smile, can she?
No.